Hey dreamer, welcome back to the Dreamer to Achiever channel, your channel for the skills, strategies, and encouragement to make your dreams come true. I'm your host, Ann Welch, and today we're going to take a deep dive into a fascinating and sometimes elusive thinking trap called Red Alert, Red Alert. Today's Red Alert is for the thinking trap, should. Have you ever found yourself using the word should a lot in your conversations or just when you're talking to yourself? Oh, I should have finished that project. Oh, I should get to the store today. Oh, I should clean my bedroom. Oh, I should. The list goes on. If you found yourself saying should a lot, then you'll be very interested in today's thinking trap. Are you ready? Then let's get to it. I should really explain what today's thinking trap is all about. No, I didn't just fall into the should thinking trap. You can say the word should without it being a thinking trap. It becomes a thinking trap when you're placing unrealistic expectations on yourself or on others. When you use the should thinking trap, you are imposing a rigid set of rules, again, on yourself or others. You have a set of guidelines for how you think things ought to be. This is an interesting trap to think about how we fell into it. You see, society, our families, friends, and definitely social media give us all sorts of ideas about the way that our lives should be, how we should behave, how we should think, how we should interact with each other. These guidelines are often very helpful, but when we take them to an extreme, when we think very rigidly about the world around us and about the way that we need to be in that world, then it can become a thinking trap. The should thinking trap can affect so many different areas of our lives. It can affect our work, our personal relationships, and even our goals and aspirations. For example, someone might think, I should always put others' needs before my own. I shouldn't make mistakes. I should be further along in my career right now. Those rigid thoughts can create a sense of pressure or stress. They can result in our judging ourselves and ultimately lead to dissatisfaction with ourselves, those around us, and worst case scenario, with our lives. Let's look at some examples that many teens and young adults face. One involves college. Your family and friends may have expectations about where you're going to go and what you're going to do. Those expectations you may have taken on to yourself in the form of should. Does this sound familiar? I should go to college. All my friends are going. They want me to go too. Yes, I should go to college, even though I'm not sure it's what I really want. How about this one? I should have the perfect body, just like all those people on Instagram. How about I should become a doctor someday, or I should be a lawyer. That's what my parents want me to be. I've had students whose parents have wanted them to continue the family business. All of these things are okay if they're aligned with your core values. Here's a tough one. I should be in a relationship right now. Everybody else my age is in a relationship. Why doesn't anybody like me? Can you see how the should can spiral out of control? Whenever somebody texts me or messages me, I have to answer right away. That's what they want me to do. I should be prompt in my responses. I know it sometimes interferes with dinner and it interferes with my schoolwork, but I should be prompt with those responses. I should have 1,000 likes on social media. That will show me that I'm doing a good job and everybody likes me. Which reminds me, if you haven't clicked like or subscribe, please do so that you won't miss out on any videos in this extensive series on thinking traps. Overcoming this trap is difficult because it means that you need to take a deep dive inside, look at who you are and what your core values are, and it also involves rewiring your thinking and some beliefs that you have held on to for a long time. It's important to realize that should is not a bad word. What we do with it can sometimes lead us into a trap, and that's where our stellar strategies come in. Stellar strategy number 1, being a detective. When you are a detective, you are looking at how things unfolded. You want to trace the should back to the place where it began. Why are you thinking should? Is this something that your parents taught you or society? Understanding where it all began and where it's coming from helps you to think critically about whether or not this is a good rule for your life. I am not encouraging you to discount your parents' wishes. I am encouraging you to think critically. Do some self-reflection. Where did it come from? That will help you in your decision making. Stellar strategy number 2, reframe. Here's an example of how you might reframe should. When you do poorly on a test, instead of saying, I should have studied harder, reframe that to the positive. It would be a good idea for me to study harder in the future so that I can get better grades. This helps you from getting stuck in shoulds about things you can't change. Stellar strategy number 3, be realistic. There are shoulds that are important in our lives. For example, I should look both ways before crossing the street. And then there are shoulds that are definitely a trap. I'll give you an example. My parents have birthdays that are really close together. I created a should saying to myself, I should never celebrate both birthdays at the same time because if I do, one of them will feel hurt. Some years it was an unrealistic expectation. It created a great deal of stress for me as they live a ways away, and it was often very difficult to get there twice in such a short period of time. Would you like to know how I overcame that thinking trap and got myself out? I did it this year, and I did it with stellar strategy number 4. You may have guessed it, the truth. The truth shall set you free. I came right out and I asked my parents, would either of you be offended if we have your birthday celebrations on the same day? Their answer was no, of course not. This was a should that came from I don't know where. I think I imposed it on myself. It was a trap that I needed to get out of. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you're enjoying this series on thinking traps and how to get out of them or avoid them. If you enjoyed this video today, please click like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out on any more videos in this series. Also, let me know if you've ever fallen into this trap. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, keep on dreaming. Bye for now.